I used to think family expectations arrived gradually like weather. Small changes you adjusted to without noticing. Growing up, sacrifice was always described as something natural. My parents never framed it as pressure. It was always language like support, responsibility, being there for each other. Those words sounded good enough that you didn't question them. And most of the time, I didn't. My younger sister, Hannah, was always treated as the one who needed a little extra help. Not dramatically, just consistently. When she struggled in school, tutors appeared. When she switched majors twice in college, my parents paid the extra semesters without much discussion. I had a stable job early, so the story around me became simple: you're the responsible one. At some point that label quietly turned into expectation. The day everything changed didn't feel dramatic at first. It was a Sunday afternoon dinner at my parents' house. Nothing unusual. My dad grilling outside, my mom moving dishes around the kitchen like she always did when she was nervous about hosting. Hannah seemed excited in a way I couldn't quite place. Halfway through dinner my dad cleared his throat. "We'll have some news." My mom smiled too quickly. "Hannah's closing on a house next month." There was a moment of surprised congratulations, hugs, my dad pouring another round of drinks. Hannah looked relieved, like she'd been holding the secret in too long. Then my mother disappeared briefly and came back with a folder. She slid it across the table toward me. At first I assumed it was photos of the house or some paperwork she wanted me to look at. Instead, I saw loan documents. My dad spoke casually, almost like he was explaining a grocery list. "We helped with the down payment," he said, "but the bank needed another signer to secure the loan." I looked up. He nodded toward the papers. "You'll co-sign." It took a second for the sentence to settle. "I'm sorry, what?" My mom leaned forward gently, like she was smoothing over something obvious. "It's just a formality. You have the stronger credit. The bank said it makes everything easier." I flipped through the documents. The numbers didn't look like a formality. $500,000. My sister didn't say anything. She was staring down at her plate. My dad gave a small shrug. "Family means sacrifice sometimes." The way he said it suggested the conversation was already finished. Something in me stalled. For years I had stepped into the responsible one role without really questioning it. Covering a bill here, helping out there, quiet things. But this was different. This wasn't helping. This was attaching my financial life to a mortgage I had no control over. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't accuse anyone of anything. I just pushed the folder back across the table. "I can't do this." The silence that followed felt strange. Not loud. Just heavy. My mother's expression changed first. "What do you mean you can't? I'm not comfortable co-signing a loan that large." My dad leaned back in his chair slowly. "So that's it." I didn't know what answer he expected. "It's a lot of risk." His voice hardened. "You think we'd put you in a bad position?" "That's not what I said." Hannah still hadn't looked up. My mom's tone shifted into something colder. "We've done a lot for this family." The word family landed like a weight on the table. The dinner ended shortly after that. No yelling, no dramatic exit. Just quiet disappointment hanging in the room like humidity. I assumed the tension would fade eventually. Maybe we'd stop talking for a while, then things would settle into an uneasy normal. Instead, 3 weeks later, I opened my mailbox and found legal documents. My parents were suing me. The claim argued that I had verbally agreed to help secure the loan, and then backed out, causing them financial damage related to the house purchase. $500,000. Reading it felt surreal. Like someone had turned a family disagreement into a legal script. My first reaction wasn't anger, it was confusion. How did we get here? My lawyer asked a lot of calm questions. "Did you sign anything?" "No." "Any written agreement? Messages confirming you would co-sign?" "No." He nodded slowly. "Then their argument is going to be difficult to prove." Court didn't feel dramatic the way television makes it seem. Mostly quiet voices. documents moving between hands. Long pauses while people read things. My parents sat across the room from me. We didn't look at each other. Their lawyer presented the argument carefully. He described an implied family agreement. A financial commitment that had been promised and withdrawn. Listening to it felt strange. Like hearing someone explain a version of your life that never actually happened. When it was my lawyer's turn, he kept things simple. No signed agreement. No documentation. No financial obligation. The judge listened without much reaction. Then he looked over at my parents and asked one question. Do you have any written contract or signed document showing your child agreed to guarantee this loan? Their lawyer paused. Papers shuffled. More papers. Another pause. No, Your Honor. The room went quiet in a very specific way, not dramatic, just the quiet that happens when everyone understands something has ended. The judge nodded once. Then this court has no basis to enforce such a claim. That was it. No speeches, no lecture. Just the quiet closing of a case that should never have existed. Outside the courthouse, the sky looked exactly the same as it had that morning. My parents left with their lawyer without saying anything. Hannah stood near the parking lot for a moment, like she might come over. She didn't. I sat in my car for a while before starting the engine. I didn't feel victorious. What I felt was something quieter. For the first time in my life, I had said no to something my family assumed I would carry. And the world didn't collapse. But something else had, the version of our relationship that depended on my automatic sacrifice. And I wasn't sure what would exist in its place.